everybody. Stevie Breach coming to you live. We're talking about the main event of Raw this past week, Charlotte versus Paige. We saw that segment on Raw. Now we're going to see the Divas Championship match at this pay-per-view Survivor Series. You know, that segment on Raw has been getting talked a lot about this week alone. With what's her name? What's his name? Charlotte Flair's brother, getting mentioned, and it's crazy what's come with it, and all that has to do with it, and it really brings the only attention that's bringing to this match is negative attention, and they're trying to make this match a really, really big deal, and it's kind of crazy that they would do something crazy like mention the brother who passed away. It's crazy that they would do that, and I don't think that this match is that important that they have to bring this much heat into this thing for Paige. And I don't know, if they're trying to build this up as Paige is going to win the title back. I don't know what's going on, but it's not making me want to watch this match. Breach, what do you think?
I think that honestly, this was going to be a very good match. I think that definitely they tried to make this into a main event sort of deal because of the fact of the NXT Divas Revolution of Monday Night Raw. They wanted to be able to say that right off the bat, they're affecting WWE because of the fact they put on a main event caliber match. I think that definitely when Charlotte came up, when Becky Lynch came up, when Sasha Banks came up, it was supposed to be that these girls were going to be the Divas champions. They were going to be in the main event scene. They were going to be actually being contenders. It wasn't about building up Nikki or Brie or Naomi or even Paige. They definitely wanted Charlotte, Becky, and Sasha to make a difference really fast. So with Team PCB splitting up and us having this first match of Charlotte versus Paige, I think this honestly is a really good big deal. And all of the sort of stuff that happened on Monday Night Raw went a little bit too far in my mind. I've read a report basically saying that Charlotte was the one that asked Paige to say it. But still, honestly, if that was ran by any agent, if that was ran by anybody who's higher up in WWE, somebody should have said that was just a little bit too far in my mind. Bringing up, dead siblings, I don't even have a brother. I don't even have a sister. But it wasn't good heat. It just wasn't good in my mind. It didn't make me at home say, "Oh, I hope that Charlotte whoops her ass now." It sort of was like, it was almost like channel changing. Like I at the time the whole thing started, I really wasn't into it. I was turning on the WWE Network to make sure that I was able to catch the beginning of the JBL show. For Undertaker Week, that was the main thing I was concerned about. But I heard this in the background, and it just was like that was messed up. I honestly didn't even want to believe that she really said what she said. I had to rewind and hear it again to make myself believe that it really happened. When it comes down to wrestling, and it's Paige versus Charlotte, I think that honestly you can tell that WWE is high on Charlotte. They want to make sure that these girls come in and they really do mean something. I would honestly be really surprised if they take the title off of Charlotte at this pay-per-view. Pinko, what do you think about who's to be taking on the championship?
I feel like the whole thing with her brother being mentioned and stuff, I feel like if they did, they shouldn't have done it in the first place, but if they were going to, at the maximum, they should have done it when Paige was champion and Charlotte was trying to beat her for the title, because then it would be oh, I really, really feel bad for Charlotte now. But the fact that, it's the opposite way around just, makes me mad. It just makes me mad in general, but whatever. Mm-hmm. But honestly, I don't see Paige winning the title. She doesn't need to win the title. I feel like she's gonna have a few last runs, and I feel like she's done. There's not much left for her to do. If she's just gonna be one of the people in the back that are just there. And this whole Divas Revolution, I know a lot of people are saying their thoughts on it, and I don't know. I feel like not everything is the same. They had a little they went up the mountain for a little bit, but now they're just going right back downhill, and everything's the same. And honestly, I don't see Charlotte losing the title for a while. Honestly.
I think what you said there is wrong. I think that honestly, the way that Divas Revolution started up with basically Stephanie pairing everybody up on teams, I can understand where they were going for with Team Bad, Team Bella, and Team PCB. But I think the whole time the plan was for the submission sorority to break up and just to have fresh matchups in the Divas division. I think that once, you have all these girls being singles, maybe even once Becky Lynch and Charlotte go their different directions and see that they have to sort of fight for themselves in order to be on top, I think that's when you're going to see the Divas division change, because for a long while, the Divas division was mainly a supermodel, bikini model, federation, and that's really all it was. Now you have these girls who really want to wrestle because they love wrestling. That is how the Divas division is going to change. We're going to see more physical style of matchups. I don't want to knock anybody. You're just not going to see girls in there like Kelly, or I even liked her, but Maurice. Girls like this that, John Laurinaitis picked out of a modeling catalog and said, hey, how about we sign them? We'll send them to wrestling school and, teach them how to do a headlock and a takeover. And next thing you know, they're wrestlers. I mean, these are girls, especially like Paige, whose wrestling is in her blood. You have Charlotte, who's Ric Flair was one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. How can you not be good at wrestling when you have, wrestling lineage like this? Definitely, I think that this is going to be a great match. I think that the build-up was very, very shocking. If WWE was looking for something to grab my attention, it really did. Even if it is sort of negatively, I would have liked the match, but now maybe even because it made me mad, I'm more interested. Are you more interested at all?
And it's funny that you say that, because honestly, okay, so the whole thing with the mention of the brother and stuff, I feel like that's that's obviously the wrong thing to do, and there's a whole thing with that. But now that you say it, they put this in the main event of Raw. When was the last time that happened? That's pretty crazy. That's a big deal. The fact that they rely on these two women's wrestlers to be in the main segment of Raw, the main event segment of Raw, means that they really have faith in them, and they really have faith in the match going into Survivor Series. So now that you say that, I wouldn't have thought about this if that wasn't a thing, and if they weren't in the main event of Raw, because I wouldn't have watched it. So definitely, I'm definitely gonna look at this match different and really pay attention to it more.
Just in case there's anybody typing on their keyboard as of right now, and I'm able to catch you in time. The last time the chicks were in the main event of Raw was the build up to SummerSlam, and it was Stephanie and Brie, and they had a few segments that main evented Monday Night Raw, but sort of surprised that they would do it without Stephanie and the Authority, and it just really was Charlotte and Paige out there, and they really did it. But I'm going to say that Charlotte wins. She beats Paige.
I agree.
What that means from this, I'm not 100% sure, because I think of Paige as being the Hulk Hogan of the Divas division. She is basically the one that it's all built around, and if she does beat her, does Paige go to the back of the line? Because normal booking in the Divas division is that basically when you have a champion that's going to hold the title for a long time, like Nikki Bella, like AJ Lee, you just sort of beat girls one by one, and then those girls never become relative again because of the fact that they've been beat, and you just beat them once, and then you move on to the next one, you move on to the next one. I'd be really surprised if that's what they're going to do. I think that Paige and Charlotte is going to be a very big feud, but then again, you can tell that after SummerSlam, with Nikki Bella, or as Brie Bella, jumping up on top of the announcer's table, trying to get everyone to cheer for Sasha Banks, to try and build tension between Team Bad, that, that they really want to build up Sasha as well. They really surprised them by having the awesome match with Bayley at the TakeOver special at SummerSlam weekend when they did the Iron Woman match. But, that's another girl, so maybe Paige does lose, so Sasha can become the number one contender, and then we have Sasha Banks going up against Charlotte, and that's a very appealing match as well. So, like I said, I think the Divas Revolution is working. I think that they needed to get out of that gang warfare deal, and now they have a bunch of fresh matchups that are really, really appealing. I mean, Nikki Bella is sitting at home right now. She's been out of action because she might need surgery, and she's probably banging John Cena right now, but it is what it is. I mean, for the longest time when Nikki was champion, it was sort of fun, but at the same time, it was the same old, same old. But I think we're going to be seeing a great matchup, and that's all that really matters with the match at Survivor Series.